Movies about Christmas have been a successful genre in Hollywood since the silent era. Such classics as It's a Wonderful Life, A Christmas Carol, A Christmas Story, and even comedies like Elf continue to get audiences into the Christmas spirit every holiday season. This year, one of the genre's oldest and most beloved films, Miracle on 34th Street, is celebrating its 75th anniversary. A 96-minute movie that seems to be a miracle in its own right.
Well, young lady, what's your name?
Susan Walker, what's yours?
Mine? Kris Kringle. I'm Santa Claus.
Over the past month, movie theaters across the nation have been holding special 75th anniversary screenings of a very special holiday film.
From 1947, here is Miracle on 34th Street.
Miracle on 34th Street tells the story of Kris Kringle, a mysterious elderly gentleman hired to play Santa at New York's Macy's department store.
Could you be Santa Claus? Have you had any experience?
Oh, a little.
Things soon get out of hand after Kringle claims to be the real deal.
Would you please tell her that you're not really Santa Claus?
Well, I'm sorry to disagree with you, Mrs. Walker, but not only is there such a person, but here I am to prove it.
The cast included British character actor Edmund Gwenn as Kringle, an 8-year-old Natalie Wood as the girl who believes him, and Maureen O'Hara as the girl's mother, the Macy's Thanksgiving parade director, and a divorced single mom. Highly unusual in films of the time.
I think you've taken up enough of this gentleman's time now. Come along, dear.
Film historian Scott Eyman is the author of 20th Century Fox, Darryl F. Zanuck, and the creation of the modern film studio.
Well, in every generation, there are what I call these little movies that could. The movies that nothing was expected of. They didn't have big stars. They weren't particularly expensive. There wasn't a huge amount of publicity push for them.
I intend to prove that Mr. Kringle is Santa Claus.
Somehow or another, everything connects. And Miracle on 34th Street is one of those little movies that could.
This is a really good movie that holds up really, really well.
I met film critic and ScreenCrush.com editor-in-chief Matt Singer at New Jersey's Barrymore Film Center to talk about the movie and watch it again on the big screen.
Definitely not on a soundstage.
No, that is New York. And I know if you look carefully in one shot, you can see he's on East 61st Street.
That first moment you see him, that is Santa.
It is Santa.
That is Santa Claus.
And what's nice too is he's not wearing the suit.
Right.
He is Santa in a black hat and a black overcoat.
Right.
He just exudes Santa.
You're making a rather serious mistake. You've got Cupid where Blitzen should be.
The original concept for the movie came from writer Valentine Davies, who thought up the story while doing some last-minute Christmas shopping in 1944. Davies pitched the idea to writer-director George Seaton, who wrote the screenplay. And a legendary studio boss became its biggest backer.
It was a low-budget picture, comparatively, for a major studio, and nothing particular was expected of it. But Darryl Zanuck, who ran 20th Century Fox like a Swiss watch, believed in the script, he believed in the story.
The studio began filming in New York on Thanksgiving Day in 1946.
And this was really shot at the parade.
Edmund Gwenn was the Santa Claus of the parade. I mean, this is the stuff I love, where you get to see, look, there's the real 1946 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Right.
You know, you've captured a little moment in time there, which is kind of nice.
Part of the movie was actually shot in Macy's New York flagship store, often after hours. Other interiors were shot on a Hollywood soundstage.
That's what I want for Christmas.
You mean a doll's house like this?
No, a real house.
And after production wrapped, Darryl Zanuck made one of the most shocking decisions in studio history. He decided to release his Christmas movie in June.
They didn't even put it out at Christmas time. It came out in summer. Zanuck didn't think it had to be perceived as a Christmas picture. He thought it was more about faith and belief and intangibles than it was about Christmas per se.
Dinner's at 3.
If you look at that poster, they're selling it as a romance.
Yeah.
You know, Kris Kringle's in the background with Natalie Wood. It's, you know, two people kind of making goo-goo eyes at each other.
The gamble paid off. The film was both popular and a critical hit, winning Oscars for its screenplay and for Edmund Gwen's timeless performance. It stayed in theaters for 7 months, later followed by nearly 7 decades on television and now streaming. And of course, there were several miracle remakes over the years.
Hello, sir.
Including the most famous in 1994, written and produced by John Hughes of Home Alone fame. This time it was Sir Richard Attenborough who donned the red suit.
Did that work, trying to redo a classic like this?
I don't think any of the other versions can hold a candle to the original.
And many attribute that to the sheer magic and magical ambiguity that Edmund Gwenn brought to the role of Kringle.
Thank you so much, Your Honor, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
He's really great. I mean, Edmund Gwenn is the kind of guy where you look at him and you go, if Santa Claus is real, this is the guy. This is who he is. This is what he looks like.
No, he really, I mean, truly just seemed to embody everything about him.
Right. You look at him and you go, oh, I do believe. I want to believe, which is exactly the quality that he needs to bring for the movie to work.
Stop, Uncle Fred! Stop! Stop!
And of course, who could forget that classic ending, one of the most beloved in film history?
You know, again, this is a wonderful, sweet, perfect ending.
Oh, no, it can't be. It must have been left here by the people that moved out.
Maybe. Maybe I didn't do such a wonderful thing after all.
But it leaves, it's almost like the end of Inception for Christmas movies. It's like, what do you think happened?
There's a little belief.
And again, it's really easy to believe in Santa Claus when you see him flying through the air right in front of you. It's much more meaningful, I think, to give people a chance to decide for themselves.
I learned so much about the movie in doing this. They put it out in June. How crazy is that,
easy
right?
To think about.
Yeah.
I just love movies that make you believe.
Yeah.
We popped it on yesterday. I was surprised how well it holds up. And it really has something to say about the commercialization of Christmas. It was a more political movie than I remember.
But you said your kids were watching and were into it.
Interesting.
They were into it.
Good job.
Thank you.
Very interesting.